Good morning. I am with you today as I am setting my RV for a short trip. Oops. Let's see. May not comment much. Got my earbuds in for an awesome live today with you. Yeah, I had my earbuds in too, and I had to take them out because I was hearing myself talk double. So yeah, good deal. I'm on live chat. Are you on live chat? Mm. I'm working on my I'm working on my I guess it's my knitted hat. I'm gonna have to wear it because then no one else will see any mistakes. So yeah, it's getting pretty close. Hey, Radical Changes. Good afternoon. How are you doing today? How's your weather? Ooh, let's see what. Oh, we're 61 today. It's kind of damp too, because it rained all day yesterday and it's going to rain tomorrow. Hey, old man King. Hello. Elise, hi. It's nice to see you guys. Um, Annabeth, Farm Adventures. Hello. Annabeth, is this the first time you've been on here? I've seen you before, but I wasn't sure if this is your first live that you've caught me. I it's really foggy here today, but 61 degrees, that's nice. Oh, the puppies are doing great, Elise. They are. It was good to have you too, Annabeth. Um, I will weigh the puppies this afternoon. Um, I went to weigh them this morning and they were all cuddled up, sleeping. Radical changes on. Well, we got 2 inches of snow, really. And it's supposed to continue for an additional 16-ish hours. Wow. So all day long. And we have, yeah, I did notice on the weather this morning that all up around Colorado was really, really snowy today. Hello, Little Ridge Farm. How are you doing? Um, so we had drizzles all day yesterday, and it was kind of cold. It was around 50, well, compared to today, it's 61. So tomorrow we've got even more chance of rain. So there's another thunderstorm coming in. Um, but yeah, I mean, we could use it, but my pond is full. The pastures are soft and squishy, so there is no way that I can even get in the pasture with the cows. Um, they need another one of those big round bales of hay, and I am not going in there because then I would have to get the tractor to get me out. So yeah, but other than that, I guess I'm just still packing up the farmhouse, trying to go from one room to the next. I did a little painting this week, so I have a little bit of color in my bathroom, and I'm so excited because other than getting the shower hooked up for the drain, that's the only part we need is the drain. Once we get that hooked up, then I can start tearing out the other bathroom in the front part of the house because we are not going to replace that bathroom. It was just kind of installed in a closet because, mind you, this house was 1936, which means that there was no two bathrooms in a house then. But they installed this one is more of a shower, but it's just like walking into a closet. I mean, that's how it feels. So I am definitely excited about getting rid of that bathroom. Do I seem like I'm lagging to y'all? I don't even want to watch myself talk because my mouth is not matching up. It's not matching up at all. Um, so what are y'all doing this week? Weather's good everywhere, unless you live in Nebraska and Colorado with the snow. Montana seems fine to you, Gummy. Elise, uh-oh, shoot, things pop up all the time. Um, no, you're doing just fine. Okay. It just seems like my mouth is not matching now. I'm kind of frozen on my phone, but other than that, it always, I don't know. Do we always ask the same questions? Am I too loud or something? Um, I actually learned something this week that I have been wanting to learn for years. Annabelle says it is sopping wet around here and very foggy. That is something we do have today is fog. We're very foggy. Um, there was an advisory about the fog. Gummy says snow high in Tahoe, Mammoth, and all the mountains around. And the breeze is ice cold, which is in California. Okay. Well, so my 61, I should be really fortunate that I have 61, even though it's wet outside. So, it's too wet to do some of the things that I really need to do. I've got a couple of nanny goats that look like they're getting pretty close to delivering babies. So, but anyway, what I learned, now a lot of you probably have no interest in knitting, but I actually learned. I'll show you. I learned this is my first knitting project, which is going to be a beanie. Um, I'll hold it kind of still, but I can't show you real close because then you'll see all the little spots that didn't turn out. So yes, I have, that's just one of the things that I've wanted to do for a long time. Oh, yeah, it's the garter stitch, Annabeth. I think that's what they call it, which is just a knit stitch back and forth as far as I can gather. Um, so yeah, and I watched all these videos because I'm left-handed, so that always poses a problem for me, because a lot of the tutorials are all, um, they're geared for right-handed people. A lot of everything is geared for the right-handed people. A lot of instructions, although it is better than it used to be. I love to see your videos of the baby animals, Elise says. Yeah, they are cute. So yeah, it looks like we're going to get. I did spend some time with 8 of the baby goats that we've had so far this year. Um, my son let them all out, and we all were playing with them. So I'm still editing that. But all 8 of them, can you imagine? I don't know if all 8 of them had the zoomies at one time, but little goats with the zoomies are just so hilarious. And one of them actually, we caught it fainting. Now I didn't catch it on film because, of course, your camera is never pointed where it needs to be. But one of the babies fainted itself, tried to jump over a railroad tie and actually fainted. All of these babies are fainting babies. So we did see that, and so all 8 of them were playing together. This is the first time they've actually been in the common area. They've all had their separate stalls up until now, so they could bond with each other. So yeah, it was kind of cute. So I spent a good bit of time while he was working on stuff in the barn, and the family was all playing and around. So we got some good footage of the baby goats. So we have 8 baby goats that were born the first 3 days of the year. And we haven't had any since then, although we have a couple of nannies that are very close. So we're expecting some new babies down at the big barn, um, this really I expected them this week. So and then I have a couple up at my place, which is at the top of the hill, and mine are not fainting. Mine are La Matcha, Nigerian dwarf, and my tonic, which actually one of them is fainting. I take that back. So yeah, let's see. Gummy says pretty and matches my new beanie from you. Yes, it is the same yarn. I had quite a few balls of it, so I was able to make several balls. So we'll have matching beanies, even though we're 2,000 miles apart. So, but this is my second little swatch that I've been trying because, like I said, I don't read patterns, so everything I do is self-taught, so I don't read the patterns. Um, Annabeth says, my mom loves crochet and I crochet 2 washcloths for my grandmother's birthday. I have crocheted about 20 washcloths. I sold some of them at festivals last year, but then I saved the colors that I wanted to go in my new bathroom in the farmhouse. So for anyone who doesn't know that we are remodeling the farmhouse room by room. Right now we're in the middle of 4 rooms. We're doing 4 at a time because 3 of them are actually um, 2 of them were combined to make a larger bathroom, and the other one is my new pantry. I'm so excited to have my new pantry. And we had to make the doors wide enough because my side by side refrigerator freezer, um, I'm thinking it's a Samsung maybe. It's really a nice one, and I had it in my old house. But I couldn't get it in the farmhouse. All the doors were so skinny back then. I could not get it in the house. So it's been in the barn. So, we keep it running and we keep some things in there when we need. But I really miss my nice refrigerator freezer. So my new pantry is going to have room for. We actually are cutting the door out so that we can get the big one in the house, and the small one will go in the pantry. But I mean, I couldn't get it in there. There was no way, even with taking the doors off and all the hinges, there was no way we were going to get that refrigerator in the house because there is not one door that is large enough for a big refrigerator like that, you know. So, 1936, they weren't thinking about larger refrigerators. They were thinking about Philcos and you know, they're you know, they're not that big. Let's see, what am I missing? Annabeth says, I have one Nigerian dwarf named Willow. Very nice. Planning on breeding her this fall. Elise says, are you still making goat soap? Yes, I am, Elise. I am. Um, I'm making, I'm using some recycled tallow, rendering my own tallow. So, and all of it, I can still make a batch at one of the kids' house, but I really want my kitchen back. Hey, Krubby the Beagle, how are you? Um, so yeah, so I mean, once I get my kitchen back, then I'll be able to do more with my cooking videos. And I'm not a chef. Yeah. I'm not a chef, but I could share some of the recipes that like the recipes from home that me and my sister did. We are still working on that. We just haven't with the holidays. We slowed down a little bit, but we are definitely going to do some more of that because we have some more recipes that we have discovered from our mother and grandmother, and uh, even one of my older sisters, her husband has a recipe that I want to make. So there's quite a few recipes that we still want to share, and some of those recipes are us remembering what we had as kids, but not necessarily have a recipe for it. So we've had to reconstruct the recipes, um, but a lot of it has to do just with the memories from home. You know, there was not everybody kept a little card box with recipes, although I do have one that belongs to It was my mother-in-law's, and I have one that I have been keeping for the last 40 years. And it's just one of those little plastic boxes, and you would cut out recipes from magazines, or some of them were handwritten on those little index cards. So it's about that size was the index cards. So there's still things I need to do, but I was so excited about getting paint. I got two walls painted in the well, it's the room where the storage and the toilet area is. Then the big room is going to have the shower and the antique tub and all of that. So I got two walls in that room and the largest wall in the pantry done. So I'm hoping to be able to show everyone that video maybe next week, hopefully by the end of the month. So get a little update on what we're doing. Um, Elisa, is that special to have? Oh, are you talking about the recipes? Yes. Um, oh, and I have another recipe book, and probably a lot of people don't know about this book. I didn't know about it for a long time. The JCs, which is a club, the JCs, put out a recipe book, and that recipe book is about an inch thick. I mean, it's very thick, and it has recipes. I'm thinking this book was written in the 50s, maybe, but I will pull it out when I run across it in my boxes. I'll pull it out and I'll go through some of these recipes. There's a section for wild game. Um, there's a section, for main dishes and desserts and casseroles, and so there's different sections. And this book was put together of the JC's wives. So it belonged to my mother's mother, and she was a short order cook for many years. Well, that's all she did from probably from the 50s and 60s. That's all she did until she passed away. And she's the one that gave me my first job. She's the one who taught me how to crochet, even. So, but I don't read. I don't read patterns. So if it turns out, it turns out because I've just adapted a pattern by watching somebody do it. So you won't get any fancy stuff with me. I would love to make a cardigan or sweater. Um, I would really love to make something like that, and maybe one day I will. But this year is the year of knitting, so I'm teaching myself to do it, and I am doing several little pieces so that I'll be able to show you guys, and I'll probably show you on my other channel. For those who don't know, Little Wendy's Daydreaming is where I do my crafts and everything. Um, Crafts, anything that does not have to do with animals. So if it doesn't have to do with animals, then that's I do it over there. I am going to do some. I'm going to refinish and paint some furniture that's going to go in the remodel once I'm done with that. So I'm working on that too. So y'all get to see some of my remodeling, refinishing skills. I did that for 10 years. We used to travel all over the country. For those who don't know, we traveled all over the country, um, gathering up antiques and vintage items. Hello, how are you? Tuber Chat, connect and grow. How are you doing, Kevin? Good to see you. So if you like vintage items and if you like antique items, I'm going to be working on some that's going into the farmhouse remodel. So that's what I've been doing lately is a lot of work in the house. So I have not had, thank you for sharing, Kevin. Appreciate it. Anybody who does not know about Tuber Chat, Kevin, um, if you're trying to grow your channel, this is where you need to go. When I first met Kevin, I wasn't even at 450. And I was excited about just getting to 450. And right now, I think I'm at 743. So yes, I grow small. I grow slowly, but I feel like that people stay. It's not just to come over and win a prize, or they come over to see what we're doing. So I'm hoping that those who stay with me really appreciate you know my content. But so if you want to uh meet some new folks, go over to Tuber Chat, and it's just like it is. I don't you just type it in. I don't have a mod today that's come in um to help me drop links. But if you just put in um the at sign and Tuber Chat, connect and grow, it'll come up. It'll definitely come up. Um but other than that, how's the weather where you're at, Krubby? I can't believe we're at 62 now. So I mean, this is warm. This is warm for January. And it was especially warm since we had such deep freeze temperatures. Of course, the whole country did. But I mean, it's really, grass is starting to grow, and then it's going to freeze again. And then we'll have to worry about, that. But I have not got into the garden. Does anybody keep a garden? Is anybody working on a garden? Annabelle says, my dad has a channel called Prepped for Eternity Homestead. We do a live every Thursday night at 8. Oh, very good. Yeah, and I'm new at live streams. I started this in June, I believe it was June. So I can tell the difference in growing though, with the live streams. And I've got a lot of videos and a lot of short ones, and I've had some good success with shorts. I've had some good success with just regular videos too. But yeah, it's hard to deny the cute little animals. That's why I have the second channel, is because your crocheting cannot compete with these cute little goats running around, or these little puppies. For those who don't know about the puppies, they were born on Christmas Day. There is 7 of them, and all are spoken for but 2. Um, they are 10, let's see, Christmas Day. What are they? 3 weeks old now? So, and I usually weigh them in the middle of the week, so you can see. Last week they were all around 2 to 2.5 pounds, and they were born a little under a pound. So they have more than doubled, and of course all their eyes are open, and they're walking around. Mama stays out of their pen. We have it set up where we have it's really an old refrigerator grate, just a shelf. And we have it set up where they can't pass over it. So they'll go right to it, and then they'll just ball up and take their naps in the sun. So she's been, she'll leave, because if she's in there, it doesn't matter if she's standing up or laying down, they're all over her. So bless her heart, she needs some quiet time, because these 7 puppies are really spunky, and they have a lot of get up and go, I tell you. But they are all so cute, so cute. These are Pyrenees Anatolian Shepherd puppies, which are livestock guardian dogs. Excellent livestock guardian dogs. Um, Annabeth says, I have to go finish some schoolwork. I plan on catching up on some of your recent videos. Have a blessed week. Thank you so much for coming in, Annabeth. Appreciate that. Um, and I hope you do not work too hard. Uh, are you a teacher? Because I have teachers in my family also during the day. So, as a matter of fact, everybody in my family has a day job, but me. Mine is the animals. So I do have a day job. It's just not a paying day job, for sure. But we appreciate you coming, and yeah, just check it out. And if you want to check out the craft channel, it's Little Wendy's. It's Wendy's apostrophe S daydreaming. Um, but that is, it's got a lot of different content, a lot of crafts and arts and different things like that. So yeah, but other than that, that's that's about what I've been doing this week, is just really just kind of catching up with the house and packing. I'm working on packing on the next room, um, because I need to move my TV, and I'm moving out stuff that I'm not going to keep. And um, Annabeth, I'm still in school, ninth grade. Oh, you are? Well, see, you may be a teacher in the making. No, ninth grade is a good one. Um, I have I have grandkids in that age range too. But yes, um, so you can catch up, Annabelle, and you can come back and be sure and make some comments if you'd like to, because I do answer all my comments, all of them. I don't just heart them and give you a thumbs up. Actually try to answer all of them. And sometimes it can be a lot. Hello, not for nothing Homestead. How are you doing, Ginger? Oh, you're listening while cleaning. Yeah, you know what? It's wonderful. I don't even turn the TV on during the daytime, because either I'm listening to someone's live stream or some of their videos, or I'm listening to a book that's just talking to me. Let's see, what was the name of the other channel? It is Little Wendy's Daydreaming. Um, Ginger, are you going to be in here a little bit? Do you want to drop links for me? If you do, none of my other mods was able to come in today. Oh, you're cleaning. You don't have time. But it is, Annabeth, it is Little, just like it's three words, Little Wendy's Daydreaming. And daydreaming is all one word. And you can look for the alpaca. There's an alpaca on my logo. So, but if you comment on one of my videos, I'll send you the link if you can't find it. Because you never know. Sometimes odd things come up, like little kids stuff that doesn't have anything to do with mine. Um, but I have not weighed the puppies, Ginger. Ginger is my new mom for a couple of my puppies, and oh my gosh, they are just so adorable. They do that little barking thing. Hello, Raymond Kringle. How are you? Oh, happy New Year to you too. And I hope Brody is doing well. Um, I have known Raymond for a couple of years. He got one of my daughter's puppies, and Brody has a wonderful life. He gets snow. I don't get snow. They get snow. Um, but definitely, um, gonna try my glasses. I am going to get new glasses, y'all, because I have to have my bifocals. But look at those. How do you keep those glares? I really don't want to wear them like this, because then that makes me look like a really old lady. And so yeah. Other than that, those puppies are, oh my gosh. You go in there and they got their little barks, and of course their eyes are all open, and they're still walking kind of unsteady in their fat little bodies, because like I said, they're probably all of them are probably close to 3 pounds now, and I will get them all weighed today. So I'll put out a new video on their weighing. Um, so they are, I mean, they're just cute. They just get cute every day. Every day it's like it's hard not to go in there and just watch them play. Now, when they get to the point where they can crawl over that barrier and get out of their pen, then I have an old rabbit colony that I don't have any rabbits in right now, and it's got logs, and they can dig, and they can just do whatever they want to do in there. And I can I have gates on it, so I can keep them contained and keep the other animals from bothering them. But so I'll probably put them in there. So their pure white little coats probably won't be pure white anymore, just because they're gonna dig. Puppies dig. The mama digs. She digs a nice hole and she gets down in it, and that's the way she stays cool. And I have noticed with the really, really cold temperatures we had a couple of weeks ago, the puppies are really getting their second coat. These puppies have two coats. They're not like the terriers or some of the other larger dogs, even labs. These dogs have two coats. The first coat is like a little, just almost like a little sheep's wool. It's so thick. It is really thick. And but I noticed the puppies is really getting thick. And I guess they adapt for the temperatures. Now I have a heat lamp up in the top because we had some really cold nights. We got back down to 26 and 28, I think, two nights in a row this week already. So I have a heat lamp in there. But you know what? They don't even lay close to that lamp. It makes them too hot. So I make sure that it's up high because I mean if it's 26 and their mother's not in there, I want to make sure that they stay warm enough. But they just ball up. They look like one little mountain of snow with black spots on it. And but they ball up when their mama's not in there, then they keep each other warm. And as soon as she gets in there, they're all over her. I mean, she will stand up and they're standing up trying to reach the bottles. Um, they're quite voracious little things. So I can't blame her for not spending a lot of time in the pen with them. That's why I fixed it to where she could escape. She could jump over when they can't, and she could lay on the other side, and she still watches them. She goes and checks on them. She feeds them when they need to be fed, but they got a little more freedom right now. So they'll all be going to their new homes. Um, I see Ginger now. You answered my question. Um, they're all going to their new homes somewhere around Valentine's Day, somewhere around in there. Um, okay, I think I got you. Um, so I mean, it won't be long before they'll be going to their new homes. So some of them are staying in Georgia. Some of them are going. One of them's going to South Carolina, and I don't know where the last two will be going. So they're going to be pretty local. Two of them are going together to one place, and another two they'll be on the same farm, but they'll be at different homes. So there's like three homes on this same farm. So they're going to actually be able to keep each other company, which is really kind of neat because they'll have somebody to play with. Um, yeah, Gummy, the puppies are adorable. It doesn't matter what you have in babies around here. I mean, I've got baby chicks too, and even them is comical to watch them. So I've got baby chicks, I've got baby puppies, I've got baby goats. So right now, that's all we have in the babies. We don't need any more. And luckily, all the mamas are taking care of them. I have not had to do any bottles right now, so at least all the mamas are taking care of them. Gummy says, "Happy you're doing well on the farm after your experience with the tornado." Oh my gosh, yeah. Did y'all know about the tornado? I know a lot of you probably saw the footage of the tornado, but um, we were under a watch, and we've been under a watch many times before in Georgia. But I mean, it had wreaked havoc in Alabama and Atlanta, in the Atlanta area, and I mean, the storm front ran from one end all the way up to the other end of all these states. It was a very long storm front. But I'm in my front yard, and the dark clouds are getting darker and darker, and I'm seeing them swirl, but I'm not seeing a funnel. And one of my sons was out with me, and he's like, "Well, you got a place to you know shelter in case you need it." Well, see, there was still no warning, and then all of a sudden, there's a warning. There has been one spotted in our county. and I'm still watching and I'm watching. I've been in 2 tornadoes. I have. I was in elementary school with one. No, I was in middle school with one, and probably in elementary school with the second one. One of them I was at school, and one of them I was at home. But I do remember, and there was always that really, really loud roaring sound. And so I'm looking for it, and I'm thinking there's a very black, dark bank of clouds, and I mean, it just went from like one part of the county to the other. It was very long. And so we're watching it, and my son goes home. He said, I got to get back home because his mother-in-law and the kid, one of the kids was down there, and he wanted to make sure that they got where they needed to get. And he's like, you can come down if you want to. And nobody else was at home. And I said, no, I've got a place in the farmhouse. I mean, this farmhouse has been here almost 100 years, and it's been through tornadoes and stuff. So I'm thinking, and I hadn't seen the funnel. I mean, but it looked like it was dropping, and it was getting darker and darker. And someone from the main part, the county seat, calls me. Are you okay? The tornado's heading your way. And I'm looking up, and I'm seeing this swirling cloud. I mean, it was just like, it looked like what I would imagine if you're in a vat with that cotton candy, you know how it just kind of swirls, and it was going slowly and slowly. And I'm looking off the front porch, and I'm thinking, that thing is just moving like around and around, and I'm staring at it. Honestly, I know why people stay out in weather too long, because I caught myself. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting out here watching this thing, and it's going right over my house. It's up in, I mean, it's really up in the sky, and it was just slowly rotating, and I'm thinking, is that it? And my son calls me, and he says, Mom, do you see the tornado? And I said, I think so. And he said, it's right over you. Go get shelter. And I'm looking up, but see, the dark clouds was all it was behind it. And it had, I mean, I guess we were in what we call the eye of the tornado. The vortex had not dropped down, it was not on the ground, it was just going over us. And so I hurry up and go in the house. Demi says, I've watched your video several times. It's an amazing experience for you all. Yeah, it was. I mean, so I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, it's right there." I mean, there's no sound, there's nothing. It was just like a slow motion, just heading right over. So yes, I can imagine somebody standing out there too long watching the weather and not realizing that it's very, I mean, it's there. It was right. I mean, I had to look up off the porch. I looked up, and it's like, "Oh my gosh." And when I realized I was looking up in the center of it, then I got scared. I got really scared. So, yeah, I mean, it was kind of amazing. And one of my kids is a science teacher, and I sent it to him, and he said, "Oh my gosh." He said, "That was amazing footage." It's like, but from their point of view, because they live in another town, they were looking towards us, and you could see the dark cloud and the funnel. It did drop down somewhere around us, but it wasn't on us. Wasn't at our farm. It was like there was straight line winds like half a mile. It was like a quarter mile. I mean, I can walk to it very quickly. Um, they had so much wind damage, and I mean, it took out a strip that was probably 300 or 400 yards wide. Just took out everything all the way to their pond, took out buildings and sheds, and trees were pulled up by the roots and broken off. I mean, it was really sad. And I had a very, very short amount of footage on that, because I didn't want to interfere with their work that they were trying to clean up and stuff. We just drove by it because that was that close. But yeah, it was scary. Gummy says several when we were kids. and or dad would let us peek when he had the collar door the cellar door open, yeah, and he was watching it, yes. I was under 6 years old. I didn't realize how old I was, the one we had at the last house we were I think he had already passed on when it was the last one. So, yes, it was really I mean, it's scary, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta get in the house," and I did cut that footage off because my camera was just like you could tell I was hurrying because it was just all over the place, I hadn't turned it off. I did cut it out. I didn't wanna you guys would have gotten, you would have gotten seasick with the camera. But I mean, I wasn't in the house long and I went back to look at it, and that's when I noticed it was all over the backside of us. So we did have it did take my Martin house. It pulled up my Martin house, which was it was in the pasture between two homes. So it did pick it up. Um tore it down and it was up I don't know how many feet high. Martin houses have to be very high, maybe 20 feet up. So it didn't tear it up, but it just, destroyed the house. But there was no birds in it. I don't know how to get the Martins to come and visit me. We got water, we got food, we got a nice place to live out in the middle. So I don't know. Maybe I'll figure that out one day. Um, uh, Ginger is not for nothing's. That's her first name, Ginger Gummy. Um, now some I try. Do I know everybody's first name? I try to. I try to get everybody's first name. It's hard when when you have a lot of channels that um you don't necessarily know their first names because their name is not in their channel. So I do try. Um, Radical says, "Oh, 2 inches of snow." Oh, yeah, I read that. Darn, I went too far. Um, let's see. Did I miss anything? Krubby the Beagle, his name is Venkat. Um, I guess if I put my name, and of course I told you Kevin, Tuber Chat, Annabeth, which she went back to school. Um, Old Man King. Is your name Pete? I'm trying to think. Okay. Um, and of course, not for nothing is Ginger. She and Raymond Kringle is he does not have a channel. He's just a friend. Um Gummy Doolittle is my sister. Hello. Oh, look, she's got that is her channel name. Um yeah, I do try to get I try to get the links dropped so that we can all get to know each other. Yes, I got it right. Oh, it took me, listen, I've been on YouTube 2 years. So it's taken me that long to learn some of the names. But you find that you learn more names the more you interact with them. And that's all I've been able to do is I've just learned a little at a time. Gummy says I need to write these names down. Yeah, you know what? That that's the only way sometimes. I learned more just like with learning different crafts. If I can watch you do it, um, I remember it better. But if I read a pattern, then it's like it just gets too confusing. I would rather watch somebody do it and then try it on my own until I get it right. But yeah, so knitting is my first thing this year. Goat zoomies. Oh yeah. Oh, Ginger, that was so cute about the goat zoomies. And it just went viral overnight. Now I don't have any that I guess viral for me is a couple of thousand, 1,000. Gummy had one. She's had more than one, but she had one that went to like 14,000 overnight. and she's only had her channel like 4 months, and it was only a couple of months, and we were, like, just floored, and it was about pumpkins, I think, but she's got several, and, she does share a lot of the adventures with her autistic great-grandson, um, or grandson, great-grandson. I get that right. Um, so, people like traveling and children and and so she shares the adventures a lot of things that he gets to do that a lot of autistic children may not. He is nonverbal, so he cannot express his fun in words. He does it in gestures. Gummy says, yeah, Pumpkin was one of them, and Mud Boy was another one. He was playing in the mud. It was so cute. But I mean, when he came to the farm to visit us a couple of years ago, hello, Sister Winnie. Um, when he came to the farm a couple of years ago, he was playing in the mud. We had some rain and there was a mud puddle out there in the driveway. And he absolutely loved playing in the mud here. And I wouldn't let him because he would get down and try to drink the water too. But the ducks like to play in the mud too. So, but he loves to play in the mud and the water. And it's good to see kids play outdoors, but he loves that. Thank you, Sister Winnie. It's so nice to see you. I don't believe I remember you coming to my live stream before. I welcome. Um, Ginger says, Linda, I am right-handed knitter, but anything I can help with, I'm here. I've been knitting for 25 years. Really? Very nice. Um, and see, that is how I learned to crochet. My grandmother turned me around and she put me in front of her and she showed me basically she just showed me how to make a chain and one stitch, single crochet. So I did that for years. That's the only stitch I knew. But that's how she taught me. And of course, we didn't have videos and stuff to watch by then. So that's how I learned to crochet. And I've been crocheting for 50 years. A long time. Let's say long time. But so yeah, but Sister Winnie, Ginger, Not for Nothing, is dropping links. So if you would like to check out any of our channels, um, we welcome that. Usually I come on Wednesdays at noon, somewhere pretty close. Usually I try to stay on an hour, although I have been known to stay on longer. If the chat gets a little too, sometimes I just forget and don't even look at the clock. But I do have to pick up a couple of grandchildren today, so I have to make sure that I don't go over too long today. Um, but yes, so we have all right, whose message was held for review? Gummy. Sometimes when you put, and I thought I had that fixed where it would not time anybody out for using emojis. Um, and they hid this, and I don't know what is wrong with this she when the pigs let him enjoy. I do not know what that is, Gummy. Uh, we'll take that one off. Um, and I'll tell you, it's probably a word that caused it to do that. But anyway, Not for Nothing says it's easier to pick up knitting if you already know how to crochet. The tension is the hardest part to get down. Yes, it is. And now the first thing I did, the tension was so tight I couldn't even get my needles in there. It's like, oh my gosh, I cannot. Now this is the one I started a couple of days ago, and this is going to be a beanie, and this is just the garter stitch. And so anybody who, I guess I can come back a little bit. So I just had some leftover yarn from making gummies. I made her a beanie for Christmas. And so I'm just going to, I really am just practicing. So yeah, if I looked really close, you could see that I might have missed a stitch. And of course, I haven't even gotten into how to correct any of that. Um, yes, that's better, Gummy. Turtle played with the pigs in the mud hole. Yeah. So yeah, so knitting is one of those things. Now I may knit all year. I may not do a lot of crocheting. I may just try knitting the whole year. Um, so and I really don't have a stash of yarn. It's I've won a little bit of yarn here and there and some giveaways, and that's what I'm using mostly. Um, because I mean, other than Walmart, and they really don't have a good selection. In my town, there's just not a good source to buy nice yarn. And I honestly cannot use yarn that's really rough. It's just, my hands are too rough and it just, hangs up on my hands. Um, but so I mean, it's just one of those things that I wanted to learn. I also wanted to learn to I really wanted to try diamond painting. And so I had been looking at some of the different sites and the crafts that do it. And I had seen some about 6 or 7 years ago. A friend of mine was doing it, and she was doing it to sell them. And she did a peacock, and it was the most beautiful painting that I had ever seen. And it was like I don't know, a 16 by 20 by 16 or something. It was really a good size one. Um, and I thought, oh, that's beautiful. I think one day I could learn to do that. So, things just, you know how it is when you have a farm. For those who have farms, there's never ending job with stuff going on. And now we're remodeling too. So, and I won one in a giveaway last week and I got it and it's a bald eagle. So I'm kind of excited about trying it. I thought, okay, that would be nice. And I'm trying to get Gummy to do a couple of them because when they're RVing, sometimes it's raining and you can't get out of the RV and you need something to do. Sometimes you may not want to read the whole time and play checkers or dominoes or whatever. So, uh, I'm thinking she needs to try one too. And then she's not the crafty sister. She knows how to sew. She's very good at sewing. But I was the one that always did the crafts. She was the one that did the other things in the house, and she liked to do things in the house. I wanted to go out and do all the stuff on the outside. I wanted to do all the crafts. I mean, so we had different interests. So this all of these years now. Ginger says, I heard you talking earlier about goat milk soap recipe. I would be so interested in trying that too. Yeah. And if you don't have fresh goat's milk, I actually don't milk my goats because I let the babies have all the milk. But I use powdered goat's milk because you don't have to worry about it freezing it up, and it makes a very creamy soap. It really does, and so does buttermilk. Anything with a powder like that. As long as it doesn't have added sugar in it, you can use it in your soaps. So yeah, that would be nice. So when you come down, Ginger, to get your puppies, then I'll give you some soap and let you try it. Um, and tell you how actually I have a video on it. And it's really easy. I mean, it's very easy. You just have to be really careful about the caustic lye. And all soaps do need lye unless you're making a gel soap. And um, the gel soaps, glycerin soaps, don't have lye in them, but they're just not the same. I really like the lye soaps better. I like the old fashioned soaps. So yeah, I sent a bunch of it to my sister. Gummy says, yes, I'm going to do the diamond painting. I did do woodwork. Yeah, that was the other thing she liked to do was woodwork. So she also did toll painting. So there was a couple of things that she did that I never tried. And but I guess I tried all the other things that she didn't try. Now she's looking to do something else. Thanks for motivating me. No, I probably just bullied you into it. No, I didn't really. It's just, sometimes we just need a little project. And I think it keeps your mind sharp when you do puzzles and when you do, um, like crossword puzzles. I like to do word puzzles where give you some letters and you can make as many words as you can. It keeps you thinking, keeps your mind sharp. And yeah, I like to do regular puzzles too. I like to find that one spot that little puzzle fits out of 500. um, Ginger says, "Oh wow, thank you. Please make a video on that if you get time." I I I do have a video. I do have one on Little Wendy's Daydreaming, but I do need to make a new one on. I got some new micas for Christmas. Donna sent me some new micas, so I really wanted to use to make some new colors of the soap. And most of them, they're unscented. They may have colors, but so many people are allergic to fragrances. Um, some of my family included. So I don't use a lot of heavy, strong fragrances. I do a lot of natural soaps, unscented soaps, but they still look pretty. Uh, yes, I already have a video, but, and I think I mean, I have one where I rendered tallow, I have one where I rendered recycled oil. Sometimes if I have that, then I make soap out of recycled oils. Um, but I love the beef tallow ones, and I make soap with olive oils, which are called Castile soaps or Castile. So I don't. People probably call it something different, but I call it Castile. But so I have some different ones, different ways of doing things, and sometimes it's just showing you what I've made and I'm cutting them. So, but when I get my kitchen back together, then I will have a lot more room. As it is, then I have a very small space in the farmhouse to work because we're dismantling the kitchen now. So I really don't have a lot of ways. I don't have a lot of space. Hey, Teresa, Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. How are you? How's your weather in Tennessee? I see that I know the snow. I have a niece that lives up in near Denver, and but I have not heard from her about the snow. She's used to snow. It snows up there all the time. So, but us, we don't get we don't get snow. Getting ready for some storms. Okay, I'll have to take a look at that. I do like to watch the weather, especially channels that I know what region they live in. I do like to watch the weather there. And then, if they put messages up on their community page that they're okay, especially if they're having some really severe weather, we all like to know that, just because, we want to just, want to make sure that you're okay. Um, Teresa says, oh, yeah, getting ready for the storm. Okay. Uh, Ginger, oh, I have tallow. Maybe I will turn it into soap. Yes, tallow makes beautiful soap. Beautiful. And I usually get mine from, we have a local processor here, and I have not been able to get it for a couple of months because it's deer season. And in deer season, they use the beef tallow when they're processing everyone's venison, because venison is so lean. So it does need the extra, it needs the extra beef tallow, especially sausages. So, but I will be able to get my tallow again now that deer season's over. So, but yes, it is. I mean, you have to process it and you have to render it down, but it makes beautiful soap. And then if you have leftovers, like little bits and stuff that of meat or sinew or something, once that is processed, then I take that and I mix it in with dog food. Um, so that I give it to the pigs or the dogs, or the goats won't eat it. Chickens will eat it. So then I'll give them that extra protein. So nothing goes to waste, nothing. But I love rendering the tallow for my soap, definitely. Um, Cracklings. You know what, Teresa? I have never made cracklings. Now, my mother made them when we were growing up. I remember them cooking them out in a big pot outside because they only butchered they butchered the hogs once a year, and I think it was always in the wintertime because we didn't have refrigerator space, so they had to do it when it was cold. But I do remember them making cracklings. And of course, it's not something you have all year round because once they're gone, they're gone. Uh, if you don't have a place to keep them stored to keep them fresh. But yeah, I love the cracklings. That's one of my favorites. If I go to a fair and they're making homemade cracklings, that's that's where I go. They can have all that other foot-long hot dogs and all that. I never tried fried butter. Did y'all know they have fried butter at the fairs? I haven't gone to a fair in a few years, but I've heard that there's fried Oreos and fried Twinkies and fried butter and I oh, I'm glad you came, oh man King Homestead. I am probably not going to stay on much longer because, like I said, I need to get ready. I got to check the goats to see if any of the nannies have had babies, um, and pick up the grandchildren at 2:30. So I want to make sure I don't run late doing that. Um, what did you say, Teresa? Piggy puffs? Is that what they call them? Pork rinds? I love those things. And since I've been trying to eat more of the keto way, that's one of the snacks that you can have, um, which kind of satisfies your chip craving, I think. Kind of. Um, but yeah, so yes, Pete came anytime. We are glad you came in. We're really glad you came in. Anybody who, if I missed anyone, please, I I apologize for that. I try to catch the chat as I mean, it's not going fast. It's just that my glasses are not working. Um, I need new trifocals, but I have cataracts and they won't make any until I get those done. Yes, Ginger, I'm weighing the pups this afternoon. When I pick up the grandkids, they always love to help. And so we're weighing the pups, and I'll do a short video for you, especially for year two and so you can see how much they weigh. Um, let's see. Yes, Teresa says I don't eat most of the crap they fry up in the fair. No, well, you don't know what it is. I mean, for one. Now, when I was in my younger days, and my kids liked them, I think a couple of the kids liked them was the vinegar fries. You know, I'd eat those, but all that other stuff, no. I've never eaten any of that stuff at the fair. As a matter of fact, I don't even go to the fair anymore. Hey, Joy Blessed, how are you doing? How's Donnie? Um, so no, the fair, anything that's food from the fair, I don't know. I kind of don't like other people fixing my food. I don't know. I mean, even when you go in a restaurant, do not sit near the kitchen because you don't want to see them cooking your food, right? Yes, yes, the puppies all get weighed, and I'm guessing that the puppies are probably gonna be close to 3 pounds. Cause these little fat butterballs, I'm telling you, I mean, before when I could put them in one hand, now I can lay them on one arm from elbow to arm, it takes a whole arm to actually lay them across now. So they have grown, I mean, they have really grown and they're just getting too cute, too cute. I mean, before I know it, it's going to be time for them to go home to their new homes, and I'm going to miss them because they just, I mean, you could just sit there for hours and watch them. Sometimes I just get my coffee and I go out there and I have a little, my painter stool that I use in the house when I'm working on painting. And I'll take my little stool out there and set it in the yard and just sit there and watch them play. I mean, because they're a joy to watch. Um, let's see. Gummy, what'd you say? Apple dumplings are a favorite in the booths and is the Teen Challenge fundraiser. Okay. For those who don't know what Teen Challenge is, that is um Donna can explain it. It is for teens or those who have been addicted and they're in Teen Challenge in order to fight their addictions. Um yes. I appreciate that. Storyteller Donnie has been painting more smaller canvases, snowman winter scenes to give away because we did not find bigger mailers to mail the bigger paintings. Yeah, the the bigger paintings are wonderful, but the mail has just so bad as far as the cost. I mean, just to send some I won some soap from um altruistic farmhouse, farm wife. It was 1 bar of soap, and it cost her over $5 to send that 1 bar of soap. Well, uh, and she doesn't if she's selling it in her little market, she sells it for that price. So, and you thinking about it, you know, you could make a whole bar of soap that would give you 10 bars, you know, for that cost. I mean, it's just gotten to where it doesn't even I mean, it doesn't pay to do giveaways so much. It takes the fun out of it, especially if you're on a limited income anyway. It takes you more to send it off than it's actually worth. So, it is hard. Oh, thanks, Raymond. I appreciate you coming in and hug little Brody for me. His little dog is so cute, y'all. Little Yorkie. Came from my daughter's puppies. Um, but and come back anytime. Anytime. Let's see. Ginger says they all look like such snuggle bunnies. Yes, they do. And it's like when one of them, like when mama gets away, they all just glide towards each other, and it's like a little volcano of puppies. They're just all over. And sometimes they'll lay side by side, and I've never seen more than 5 lay together, and then just above there, the others will lay, but they will lay one head back and forth, butt to head, butt to head. I mean, it's like it's so comical to see them, but they just kinda jam up together, and so if mama's not there to keep them warm, they actually keep each other warm. They lick each other's faces. It's like, one of them likes to suck on one of them's ear, and, I mean, they're just really comical, to watch them, just to sit and watch them. But they take care of each other when the mama's not there. I've noticed that there's a couple of them that are more nurturing than others. It's like especially the girls, they love to lick on the faces of their siblings, and sometimes they'll suck on their noses and suck on their toes, and I mean, they're probably looking for something with milk in it, but it's really cute the way they kind of take care of and they comfort each other when the mama's not there. So so if you have more than one pup going to a home, then you know that they're going to bond and they're going to be very, very close. And I mean, it'll be wonderful. Let's see, who did I miss? Joy says yes, and we are on Social Security, so the increase is not helpful. No, storyteller Donnie does some side work, but it's not constant. Constantly, yeah, yeah. That's the thing. I don't have an outside paying job, and yeah, if Social Security says they're going to give us a raise, you know, they make it sound like that you're going to get a lot of money, but you know, it's really not going to be a lot. It probably wouldn't even pay, a water bill. So yeah, you work all your life and then they tax you and you know, penalize you and you know, the world is not built for senior citizens. They, you know, you got to pay as much in school taxes that you don't even have children in the school system, but you have to pay as much if not more than some others. Hey, quiet listener, good to see you. I'm so glad you were able to come in. So, you know, they end up taxing you for, I mean, it's bad. I mean, you know, you want to support your community. We belong to the Cattlemen's Association here in our community. Even though we only have 5 cows, you know, there's a lot bigger ranchers, but you know, that's just part of the, you know, supporting your community. We belong to the Chamber of Commerce. You know, that's another way to support your community. And we try to buy locally. So we try to do everything we can in the county by supporting each other. Um, you know, I don't. I try to go to the grocery stores that are local. Although I do miss going to Costco. You know, but I mean, it's an hour away from me, so I mean, it's not necessarily feasible to you know that's at least a 4 hour trip away from home because you're going to spend a couple of hours just going through it all. You know, let's see. In your live tab, she can drop your link for you, quiet listener. Um, I had a hard time finding your channel the other day. I don't know why. Hello, Verna. Nice to see you. Hope you're getting some good deals with your grocery shopping today. You can be lurking. I'm probably not going to be on here a whole lot longer because I have some things I have to do with picking up grandchildren. So, but I'm glad you were able to come in, even if you were just listening. But so I did find your channel, quiet listener. But I for some reason you know, it's just like some names are, I guess the more you look them up or the more you tag them, then and get notifications and stuff. Um, it's just you, or is it just no, I don't know if it's just you. I mean, it could be any. I mean, there's other ones. See, she found your link really fast. I don't know why. I was on my phone. And sometimes on my phone, I don't think I pick up as many as I do on the computer. So, but the birthday celebration, um, y'all go over to Quiet Listener and help support. Let's see. Old Way says yes. The price for shipping is ungodly. Yes, didn't get to do anything for my 2K, 3K, but finally going to throw a big giveaway for 4K and birthday on the 7th. Oh, good, Teresa. Yeah, I mean, there's some channels that'll do a giveaway on every 100 milestone, and honestly, I just can't do it. Um, it just, I'll go and support others the best I can. And I have donated some things for giveaways, and but it's just with the price of postage, it's taking the fun out of it. It's really taking the fun out of it for those who want to give and those who want to receive. I mean, but it's nice you win a free giveaway, but the person that is giving it ends up costing them twice of what it would be if they you know didn't have to ship it. So yeah, it kind of is taking a little bit of the fun out of the giveaways. Um, but so nobody expects a lot of giveaways with my channel. We don't do weekly giveaways, and like some, I don't know how they keep up with the postage. Honestly, I can't. I mean, sometimes the packages they have going out, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to cost $500 to send all of those packages. And I know a lot of you don't either. There's no way that I even if money was not an object, I would feel bad about, doing it just because it's just I don't know. It's one of those things that, I think they should be dropping the price to help you keep their business going. Because the more people that participate in your business, even if it's at a smaller rate, we all learn that in business. It's better to have a lot of customers and make less than have a few customers and you make a little bit more. But, that's just me. That's just me. Um, let's see, with the other half being hurt, couldn't afford to do it. Yeah. I mean, there's we have a one family income and have had for many years. Uh, and even at that, we still support the rescue animals. So because people just don't have it anymore. But the animals still eat, regardless. They eat. So, but that's just the way it works. Hopefully, that increase we saw due to the holidays will go back down a little, Ginger says. Yes, I do hope, just like with the gas. Now, Georgia has dropped the gas tax. I think it's still in effect. So that helps a little bit. So our gas is not, $8 a gallon like some other places. So, at the price of butter, we're not going to be able to afford the butter. We're going to have to be making our own butter, I guess. Um, Joyce says, "Hi, Victoria. Happy birthday." Yeah, we're going to come over to your birthday celebration. We have to go out later, but we hope to enjoy your birthday, Joyce says. Uh, Teresa says, seriously, it's not going to get better. Yeah, you haven't seen bad yet. Well, yeah, I guess that's the whole thing. It always has to get bad, like rock bottom, before it starts getting better. We lived in Oklahoma. My grandparents lived in Oklahoma in the Dust Bowl, and we don't know what bad is yet, what they had to endure. But it's just yeah, we look at the price look at the price of eggs, Raymond says. Yes. Um, I saw someone had set up their little farm stand, and I was looking, I was zeroing in on it, seeing the kind of items that they had to sell. And I noticed a dozen eggs was $7. Um, and I think someone here says that it might have been Verna, that 18 eggs was $9. I mean, really. And we eat a lot of eggs because, we feed those chickens and I'm going to eat the eggs. And I sell very few eggs, but when I sell the eggs, I still only ask $3 a dozen, you know, just because I feel bad for asking more. Um, Gummy says we have to start making meals out of leftovers and change it up a bit. Eggs are still $8 and up in California where she's at. Yes. Prayer still works, Joy. Yes. Yes. Um, we just have to stop and think we're going to have to cut our expenses where we can, recycle more. If you have leftovers, like I said, make a little tray, a little TV dinner, a homemade TV dinner. Put it in the freezer instead of just throwing it in the trash, or even throwing it out to the dogs. But we don't buy as much meat. We just don't buy as much, and so I eat more vegetables than and we don't even really buy much bread because time you buy the bread, if you leave it sitting on the counter within 2 days, it's got mold on it. So, I mean, it's like I just make biscuits. Gummy says $16 for 5 dozen eggs at Costco, and that's cheap in California, really. Stores are $21. Oh, the regular grocery stores are $21 for 5 dozen eggs. Oh my goodness. Um, Teresa says it's now illegal to sell homeopathic and natural products thanks to the FDA. Oh, they got the bill passed? Oh, geez. So if you sell any homeopathic or you make any for your own family, you just cannot talk about it. What you do with your own family, taking care of them, you do what you can. Um, and that's crazy. They want you to, y- I don't like to take medicine, honestly. I, you know, I don't want to take their medicine. I'd rather just take something natural, work through it. Joy says most people need to start getting laying hens and the price goes down when less folks are willing to buy those high priced eggs. Yes, it's like boycotting. You know, back in the day, if something went up too high, they boycotted it and they quit buying it. They didn't just suck it up and pay the price, they quit buying it or did without. They found other ways. Um, Teresa says, "What did you expect after they have culled millions of chickens worldwide?" Yes. Oh, the amount of waste that they have is awful. Verna says 6 eggs are $3.60. Yeah, she's grocery shopping today. So the eggs in the egg section now $9.24 for 18 large white eggs. Now, weren't they $9 just a couple of weeks ago? So they've already gone up another 24 cents. Teresa says big pharma won, but I'm not going to comply. You know what? What you do with your own family in your own home is your own business. And, we do what we have to do to eat, to, use old remedies to take care of ourselves. I mean, I came from a family of my grandmother and great grandmother were Indians and they lived in tents. They worked in the fields, they lived in tents. They only had homemade medicine. They had homemade remedies, they ate what they could that was wild, and they survived. They lived long, happy lives. So yes, definitely. Um, Gummy says, well, instead of eggs for breakfast, I'm having avocado and tuna and chicken for breakfast. Is tuna cheaper there? Um, I've stopped buying processed canned meats. Um, I mean, although I've always loved spam, it's a poor man's ham. But, or even Vienna sausages, when we had them. Hey, Kathy from Living Miracle, good to see you. So when we had Vienna sausages, it wasn't that long ago, they were 50 cents a can. And the last time I went to Walmart that I refused to buy them was around Christmas time. And it was for 6 cans, it was almost $10. And it's like, oh no, I ain't buying them. So I didn't, you know, I didn't buy them. Um, Quiet listener says I'm back. Oh, you're working? Um, yeah, sometimes we gotta work and listen. We can work and listen. Um, let's see. Old Way says it's my livelihood and how I make money. Yeah, you have to. That is how you support yourself and your family. Um, and sharing the knowledge you have. Besides just sharing the knowledge, you make those products or those tinctures or salves or you make those, but it costs money for you to make them. But you make them, to share with others. I don't see anything wrong with that. But it's pretty sad that you to make a home remedy, it's going to be against the law to make a home remedy. That's working pretty sad. Um, so yeah, let's see, Gummy, what'd you say? On the news this morning, the question came up about lowering food prices. They said use digital coupons, make a list, and meals that you're going to prepare, eat less was the answer. That's crazy because I want prices to go down. Yeah, so exactly. Oh, quiet listeners babysitting a 5-year-old. Yeah, that takes a lot of your attention. You can't turn your back on a 5-year-old for very long. Teresa says, "Yes, but coupons don't work when you refuse to buy the name brands. Plus, I only buy in bulk." Yeah, those who issue the coupons are mainly the brand names. You don't get a store brand coupon. They have to do a weekly sale, but there's no coupons. And we used to have a Bilo, which was around here. It was a nice grocery store, and on Wednesdays it was double coupons. It was great. I did my shopping on Wednesdays because I could get double coupons. But then you start learning that the only thing they give you coupons for is stuff that you really don't need to eat, boxed foods, processed foods. They never gave you coupons on fresh fruits and vegetables and stuff. Oh, and Sam's won't take coupons now, Kathy? I didn't. Well, did they ever? I don't know. I don't. I've never shopped much with Sam's. Um, but it's kind of hard to even take them to Walmart. Hand me down outdoors. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Um, I used to have um, a coupon wallet. When we first got married, we cut coupons. Well, they call them clipping, I guess. We clipped coupons out of magazines, newspapers. We looked at the daily sales. And one time we uh, got a whole month's worth of groceries and we paid $6. We clipped that many coupons. And that was way back when we first got married in the 70s and the early 80s. And they were giving good coupons. They gave coupons on things that we were using, although I didn't use the diapers. They had always had diapers. Um, I used cloth diapers for my first two. Hey, our treasured home. Hi, Nancy. How are you doing? You're homeschooling? Yeah, definitely. Um, so coupons, they did save us some money, but then they don't give you coupons for things that you really could use now, because we make different choices than we did back then. Everything was a meal on the run, and the kids were in baseball and you was on the road all the time, back and forth. So you had to use sometimes you did have to use boxed foods, but I don't buy the boxed foods like I did before. I just don't. Um, and my oldest brother was in the grocery business for 40 years. And he always told me, don't ever buy anything on the uh, center of the store. Buy on the perimeters, because that's where you're going to find your fresh vegetables, you're going to find your meats, everything against the wall. And that's the way he stocked his store. Everything in the center aisles was, and it was eye if it was eye level, it was eye level to catch the kids, the cereals and the processed foods. They were always on your 5 foot and below. The really high stuff that was up high that you couldn't get to anyway, um, were not were not the foods that they were better for you, but they wanted to stuff you full of those processed foods. So that was just one of the things that he told me when I worked in the grocery store with him, that everything on the outside perimeter was your healthier foods. So, but you know, and if you look at it, they still set up a store like that. They still set your store up like that. Your meats and your produce are all usually in one area, and you could just shop in that one area and get everything you need. So yeah, but so who else did I miss? Did I miss anybody else come in? If I missed you, I am sorry about that, but I do try to catch you. Um, let's see. Gummy says also reach towards the back because it's fresh. Yes, if they stock the shelves the way they're supposed to, the newest product is supposed to go on the back and they're supposed to rotate everything else forward. But it doesn't always happen because you have sometimes you have lazy people and they just want to empty that box and they just stuff it in on top of the older stuff. So you really have to watch because it's not necessarily the rule anymore. They're supposed to bring forward everything that is older and put the newer stuff behind it. That's the way they're supposed to. If they're good business people, they're doing that. But if they have, you know, kids that want to be on their phones and just collect their paycheck, they're not they're not watching that stuff. They're just shoving it up on the shelf. And I learned different in the grocery store. I was in my early 20s when I worked in the grocery store. And it was a little country grocery store. But we always had to look at the dates and we knew how to read the dates. And some people, you'd be surprised at those that don't know how to read the dates on breads and fresher bakery items and stuff. They have dates on them, and uh, sometimes they're way out of date. Even the meats. I have a package that's frozen right now. I froze it was a roll, one of those little rolls of meat, and think I paid $5 for it. It used to be $3 and something. And I cut that thing open I cut it in halves because a pound of meat, my husband and I can eat on a half a pound of meat. We can have our hamburger, whatever. I cut that thing open and I thought, ooh, this does not smell good. And I put that back in the freezer and I'm going to take it back and get my money back for it. It's the principle of it. And I looked at it when I bought it the day before. I had it in the refrigerator. I was going to use it the next day, and it was the 20th of December, I think. And when I cut it open on the 20th, I looked and it smelled bad. I looked at it. It had expired 4 days prior, and it did smell bad. So it had not been in the freezer and it hadn't been repackaged. But boy, when I cut it open, I knew right then it was not something that I was going to eat at all. So yes, they are getting it back. I've taken fish back before to our local Walmart. I love catfish, but I can't buy the fresh because it's just you don't know what they're calling fresh. It could be sitting there for a week. It's not fresh. But I opened up I barely had it open, and I marched myself right back up there because a package of catfish was like, $15. And I marched myself back up there and I took it to the gal that does the refunds, and I gave her my receipt. Still had my receipt. I just bought it. And I said, "You want this?" And she goes, "Oh no, I don't want it." And I says, "Well, you call somebody from the meat department and have them come up here and get it then, because I'm not taking it back home." You need to tell them they need to check everything in that freezer, in their refrigerator, because it was fresh refrigerated. It wasn't frozen. Of course, it was probably frozen before they put it in there. See, that's kind of it's getting to where you just don't want to buy some of that stuff. You want to grow your own, right? Or don't eat it. Verna says, I look at the dates on everything. Yeah, and it takes you longer to shop. But if you don't, I mean, with us, if we went to Costco, that's a 2 hour trip driving, another hour, an hour and a half in the store. So you've got a half a day to go grocery shopping, and you don't want to take a chance of getting some bad stuff or out of date stuff. Um, you Teresa says you realize that the food lasts longer than the dates. Yeah, yeah. You know. Uh, Donna says besides the products up front on the shelf could have been in a cart. Yes, and uh, especially the cold. So reach back for the items. Yeah, I always do. Um, yes, quiet listener. Yeah, anybody who came in late, uh, her link is up. She's having a birthday celebration today. Gummy says cold foods. We are only two, and we eat small meals. Leftovers are a whole new and different meal the next day. Yes, my husband hates leftovers. He'll eat them one time after you cook them, if you're lucky. But he just he was he says his mother would cook leftovers, or she would have cooked like Sunday meal, and she would have those leftovers all week. So he got to where he just would not eat leftovers, you know. So he got a little burned out on that. Joy says here in the Smokies, they bought a lot. They brought in a lot of foreign exchange workers. So we hear complaints, even restaurant foods are not the same old fashioned cooking by the older American Southern cooks. No, that, you don't have your your mom and pop, you know, cooks anymore. Your short order cooks. You don't have that anymore. Everything is frozen or it's breaded somewhere else and brought in. It's I mean, you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. Um, Kathy says that's why we hunt. Yes, yes. We processed our own beef. We have another one for next year. Um, we have venison. We have a pond full of fish. We have chickens in the yard. So you know what? If they close that grocery store down, we could manage. We could manage. Ginger says that's why we grow a garden, hunt and fish. We know how fresh fresh our food is. Yeah. My mother used to say if we didn't grow it, hunt it, fish it, we didn't eat, you know? That was it. You had to if you didn't grow it, you hunted it or you fished it. Otherwise, you didn't eat. I mean, if you wanted meat, that's how you got it. There was no we didn't we had a little mom and pop grocery store that sold gas and sold we hardly ever got any food out of there. But yeah, I mean, that's all we knew. We didn't we didn't know if you need something, run to the grocery store and get it. We e- eat your pantry. Gummy said they're eating through their pantry. Try to rotate their food, and because you need to if you've had it in there for a year or two, uh, depending on what it is, you need to go ahead and rotate that and can some new food, put some new food. You do need to rotate that pantry instead of just hoping that it's going to last. Quiet listener says she's a vegetarian. One of my children is vegan. He was vegetarian and he went vegan um, for the last 3 or 4 years, and uh, he said if he eats something unknowingly, it gives him a stomach ache. I mean, he knows he can smell it. He can pick up something and smell it and tell if it has dairy in it or um you know he can tell that if it's something that he doesn't usually eat, but because he can smell it now. He said, but he gets a lot of food to eat, lots of food, but it would be hard for me to give up my eggs. That would be hard. But Gummy says box and prepackaged foods are loaded with salt and carbs. Yes. um You all who have gardens and hunt and fish, I envy you. Yeah, I need to have a bigger garden this year than I did last year. Teresa says, my people ate meat and are going to continue to do so. Yeah, I mean, there was times that's all they had was meat and potatoes, and we were healthier for it than all of that processed food with all the GMOs and the you know I don't know. I don't even know what all that stuff is called. Don't even know. Depends on what kind of salt. Table salt is not meant to be used. Um, yeah, I use the Himalayan salt when I do add something. Quiet listener says I don't begrudge those who do eat meat, though my husband eats meat. Oh, that's got to be a little more difficult, Victoria, to have to cook. You have to make sure you have a choice for each of you. Um, Definitely. Hey, Sandy with Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. It's nice to see you. That's what happens if pork is in. Haven't eaten pork in 20 years. Really? Um, Joy says maybe you need to move close to your sister. Yeah, yeah. 2,000 miles is a little far away. So, yep. Um, let's see. Sandy has a second channel. If y'all have not been to Sandy's second channel, it is Fused Glass Art and More. She is quite an artist, y'all. I have got a few of her things, and I'm very proud to have them. Very lucky to have them. Um, Quiet Listener says I do eat eggs and some dairy stuff, yet not much because I'm allergic to milk. Oh, well, and that's another reason to have alternative eating ways is because of allergies. Definitely. Um, oh, I missed that, Teresa, about the salt. Let's see. It went by. Pink salt does not affect your blood pressure. Okay, that's good to know because that's what I've been using for a while is the pink salt. Um, I just like the taste of it better. If I'm going to salt something, um, there is Quiet Listeners link for the birthday celebration. Y'all go over and hit that notification so that you don't miss it. If you'd like to help support her, um, and I am definitely gonna hit my notification. I think I already have, but I'll double check and make sure. Um, hey, Rebecca, Touched by Yarn, nice to see you. I'm glad you came in. I'm about to get off. I've got to run to the school and pick up the grandchildren and do a little animal check. I got nannies that are expecting babies and puppies that need to be weighed today. So hopefully I'll get the new one up with the puppies. Um, for those of you who have not seen our Pyrenees Anatolian Shepherd puppies, they are around 3 pounds now. But I'm telling you, thank you, Kathy. Thank you, everyone. Gummy Doolittle says she's using almond milk. Um, I have used almond milk. It's hard to use almond milk in my coffee. I'm struggling with getting my coffee bulletproof. um, Quiet Listener says yes, I did, and your package is on the way. Oh, you're talking to Rebecca. Okay. Joyce says doctor told me to use Hawaiian Australian pink salt that it does not affect the blood pressure. I have to look at the pink salt that I buy and see if it's the Hawaiian or not. Um, uh, Victoria says, I think I'll play a little at the beginning of my live at Old Ways and Prepping. You'll play a little. Are you playing music? Is that what you're talking about? Did I miss something? Um, or games? I like games too. So I guess I'll get off because I need to be heading to the school. They get out at 2:30, and it's a little before 2 here. So I will go pick up the grandkids. I appreciate everybody coming, and even those who came in late. I appreciate you coming at all. I'm glad to see you all, and take care for this week. And everybody have a good rest of the week. And we'll be visiting you all. Thank you, Verna. Appreciate you catching too. Enjoy everybody. Um, and I will see, oh, the Native American flute. Oh my gosh, y'all need to go listen to that. That is the most soothing music. I could just it's not that it puts me to sleep, but it's very soothing, very soothing. That's wonderful. I love that. You played them as well, Teresa? Wow, that's nice. So I will see you guys next week. I appreciate everybody coming in. Take care and enjoy the rest of the week. Bye.